But tell us about Brixton Gin.
So Brixton Gin, we launched it in November 2020, having conceived it in March 2020 when we had just had a baby and we were drinking someone else's gin in the back garden, which was quite a common occurrence after having our first baby. And I'd sort of been kicking around this idea that it was of starting at Brixton Gin on the basis that Brixton is an international food and drink hub that is recognised as such across the world, certainly in English-speaking markets. And it just seemed crazy that it didn't have its own gin. And whenever I mentioned this to people, they said, "What do you mean Brixton doesn't have its own gin?" Of course it has its own gin. I said, "No, it doesn't." So there's a lot of serendipity on the way. We found a guy, Abby Bannock, who's one of the foremost distillers in the country, who we briefed, and he created our recipe for us. It is I guess, a contemporary twist on your classic London dry. It is a dry gin, but we've added some hibiscus, some violet, a little bit of raw Brixton bees honey from a local beekeeping family, just to kind of elevate it and give it a bit of distinction in a market dominated by, 1,000 very good London dries that you would struggle the next morning to identify, given their similarity to each other. So that was a kind of driving ethos. So we created a product that has a very standout brand that looks great on your shelf, which I think has a pretty unique taste in the market without being too challenging, and which has great links back to its community. We work with an organisation called Urban Growth. They take disused urban spaces and turn them into gardens, and they're growing some of our botanicals in Brixton. We have a few juniper trees growing in a little orchard behind St Matthew's Church in Brixton. They're probably the only commercial juniper trees in London, but I'm not sure what crop we'll ever get out of them. But nevertheless, so we are very much focusing on off-trade, probably more than on-trade now. We've just launched, in addition to our 70cl bottle, we've now got a 70cl refill pouch, which is 100% recyclable. You literally, when it's empty, you drop it in the post. No stamp, no envelope, just drop it in the post, and it gets returned for recycling. We also have a 5-litre bag-in-box, so it looks like a wine box with a little tap at the bottom. You put it on your shelf, and that offers a kind of a refill solution for retailers, customers as well. And that is significantly cheaper than buying by the bottle. So if the retail price for a bottle is going to be about £38-39, a retailer can make 40% margin selling out of the refill box at about £33 equivalent. So it's a great margin play as well as being a kind of great sustainability play as well.
I don't drink, and I haven't tasted it obviously, but I think the packaging is fantastic. That's
Thank you.
I just think the colour, the red, it just catches your eye, and it's obviously a gin, but I mean 90% of the first sale is catching somebody's attention.
Well, this is it, and this is what my partner and I had no background in the drinks industry, but we just wanted to create a visual brand that stood out, right? So that's what we tried to do. We were not governed by any sort of industry conventional thinking on the subject, which is probably a good thing in the long run. And just to say as well that, I mean, obviously we have Brixton Gin listed with you. From a retailer perspective, we will supply a kind of a measuring beaker and a kind of funnel and everything as well that goes with the refill box as well. So if you're looking at kind of refill, a sustainable solution for gin, it should be a winner.
Fantastic. Andrew, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Fascinating talking. Great to catch up. Haven't seen you in ages.
I know.
So brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. Cheers.
You're very welcome. Thanks very much.